Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you a really good deal I got on something, and I'm going to fix it up a little bit. Alright, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I love deals and I love getting things that are less expensive but actually work very well. So that's one of the reasons I hit up a lot of thrift shops. And came across something recently in one of my trips there that turned out to be a really cool find. I saw this there. They had a price tag of $2.99 on it, and I'm like, hell, for $2.99, whatever it is, you know, as long as it doesn't have a hole in it, it's worth getting. So I pretty much figured I was going to buy it, picked it up, took it with me. Then I popped it open and took a look. Alright, let's pull it out of here. Comes with the stove on it. Thought that was kind of cool. It's a nice little added bonus. I mean, not the stove, but the cook pot. So it's basically a Canteen mess kit. Look down the bottom, and if you can see that, it says US Miko. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's an original cook pot. That's kind of cool. But then I saw this. On the back here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this up in camera, there is imprinted US and the initials AGNCO 1945. So that's an original 1945 USGI Canteen. Totally cool. Really cool find. It's even got the Bakelite cap, which kind of tipped me off as to why it might be kind of older, because they don't really use Bakelite much. So I basically took some, just a green scrubby from my kitchen sink, and a little bit of soap and water, and washed it up. I didn't want to scrub it or take any of the dirt or dents off, because it kind of adds to the character of it. Same with this, and this has been used because I could see the little scratch marks on the bottom of the thing. So, you know, where somebody's been digging in with a fork or a spoon. So I figured, you know what, I'm trying to set up a little bit of a backstory. The place that I am working part-time in is closing and moving out of state, the gun shop. So I'm going to have a lot more free time, and I want to do some kind of hiking videos and show you the area around I live in, as well as test out gear while I'm doing it. So I want to set up a pack for that. I don't want to spend a fortune on it because my bug out gear has already cost me a fortune. So I thought, this is perfect. This will fit right in, you know. And I also kind of want to go old school with it. So the stove I'll be carrying, it's one of these old Esbits. I would guess this is probably from around the same time frame as that pot there. So, you know, I want to just carry a little bit of food, a little bit of water, maybe a first aid kit, and a backpack, you know, with extra batteries and whatever product I'm going to be reviewing. So that's kind of my thoughts for getting this. Now I noticed that this works perfectly, by the way. This thing is absolutely perfect. Let me show you real quick. That unfolds. And this pushes down and in. And locks into place. And that thing is absolutely perfect. I don't know that this is as old, because I'm looking at this steel here, this metal, and that doesn't look like metal from that time. It could have been just a combination of a kit that was put together, you know, later for Vietnam, and they gave them a new cook pot and the same old Canteen. But it is definitely USGI surplus, because this Miko, this company, made stuff for the military, and it does look used. It's also heavier. I think this is steel, whereas this is aluminum. It's really light. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you some of the things I had to do to fix it up. Now, the first order of business was the cover. Outside, it looks pretty good for its age. It is set up for a pistol belt. If you've ever seen those pistol belts, the military pistol belts, they have holes down them, and these two things snap into the holes. So you can snap your pistol belt on, and this is hanging right on it. However, while the snaps work great, somebody ripped out all of the old lining that was in here for insulating. Nah, I'm not going to really worry about that. I'm not going to try to fix it. I did kind of rinse this off and let it dry in the air on my back porch, just to get any bugs or crud out of it. But this will work perfectly for what I want. I may change the mounting system. I may sew something on here so I can use MOLLE attachments, or I may just stick this on one of the thicker MOLLE web attachments on my bag. This was the next. This thing's perfect. Didn't need anything to be done with it. But this was next. Inside in here, I don't know if it's oxidation on the aluminum, but in through here was really full of white crud on the top, and in here too as well. So I just scrubbed that all off. I let it soak with some bleach in there, washed it out. But then I noticed a new problem. This I thought was rust up on top of it, and then I realized it's Bakelite. Bakelite doesn't rust. And I just wet it again. I thought, well, you know what? It looks like it was glue, and they had something glued in there to keep this from spilling. Well, without that, let me screw this on here really tight and show you. Without that, when you tip this upside down, water will pool up here and then eventually spill out. So I thought, what do I have that I can make a little kind of stopgap kind of thing without permanently modifying it or gluing something in there or messing it up? Because it is an older piece and I don't want to deface it sort of and beat the heck out of it, you know, and kind of like people do to most Nagants. I didn't want to bubble the heck out of it. So I remembered I had some of these. This is just some pleather coating that I fixed up a chair with. So I thought, hey, that's perfect. I'll cut a couple circles out, and I did. I cut a couple little circles out, and I just did this part, about 10 minutes ago. And I got myself a couple of little circles similar to that. They're not perfectly round, but they'll do. And now, I'm going to wipe that off because I rinsed this out again right before the video, and I thought I dried it, but I didn't dry it well enough. I just stick them in there and press fit, you know, press them down in there. Now we're going to fill it with some water. And eventually I may have to glue those two pieces together because I just see one just fell out on me. It might be the smaller one, so what I'm going to do, pull the bigger one, put the smaller one on the bottom, because the bigger one does need to be pushed in there. Push it in like that. Now, got that on there. Seal it up on there tight. And now, no more pooling of water around here, and no more drip. So, I fixed that. This thing was good to go. This I just kind of washed off, and for, you know, $3, basically I got a piece of history here. I thought that was kind of cool. And got a good little cook pot and a nice little way to carry it around. So it's very important to check when you're prepping on a budget to check your local thrift stores. I can't tell you how many things I've found in my local thrift shops. Gosh, from, you know, stoves to Coleman stuff to prepping gear, tents. It's always good to check even older Army surplus stores that actually have Army surplus. Not all new stuff made in China. You'll be amazed at what you can save and some of the things you can cobble together and actually put together and use. Something like that, you know. New, that's $24 between, you know, that and everything else. Like this, it was $3. And I already checked it for leaks, so I know it's not leaking. I just spilled some water. But that's a pretty darn good deal, so I'm pretty pleased with it, and it's a little bit of piece of history. And that's the video for today, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. As I said, I'm going to have a little more free time coming up, and I'm going to be doing some more outdoor stuff. So stay tuned, and we'll see you then.